Hello guys, today we're going to be doing what if Tanjiro had the Rinnegan. This is my first Demon Slayer what if, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Let's just hop right in. So we start off with Tanjiro as a baby or just being born, and they can see that he has weird eyes, pretty much purple eyes with lines in them, and everybody's confused, but they look, very nice. You can pretty much get lost in it, the way his eyes look. And since, nobody knows what the Rinnegan are in this world, they just, say that he has just weird eyes. And as Tanjiro grows up and sees his father, perform the, Kagura, or sun breathing, pretty much the dance, and he actually goes and tries it by himself with a stick, and actually is able to perfectly match his movements, which shocks, you know, his mom and his dad. And at this time, Tanjiro's like 4 years old. So yeah, this shocks them, how he easily, you know, did the movements of the Kagura. And um Tanjiro's father, which I'm not gonna say his name because it's gonna get mixed up a lot, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna call him Tanjiro's father. He actually starts teaching Tanjiro the Himokage Kagura dance, and after he shows him the dance, he shows him the breathing technique, and Tanjiro actually masters this pretty fast, and the you know the he in Jesus Christ, he has a abnormal strength when he's swinging swinging whatever he's using, which is usually mainly a stick during practice. And they actually figure out that he has a lot of talent and processes information extremely well. And at this point, Tanjiro has been doing his own thing, and we can skip to the beginning of the anime with Tanjiro going down the mountain, and he should be easily able to carry more logs than the original since he has abnormal strength. And yeah, it pretty much goes all the way. It goes to the same as the original, all the way up to the point where Tanjiro, sees his family massacred. And at this point, Tanjiro looks around shocked, crying, and then he searches to see if anybody's alive, and then he sees his little sister Nezuko breathing, and he picks her up and then starts running, down the mountain. And I think it was down the mountain, not up the mountain. Yeah, down the mountain. And then while he's running and crying from seeing his family completely massacred, Nezuko starts waking up, and he asks Nezuko if she's okay, and then she starts to kind of like fight him, and he pretty much pushes him off the mountain, making them both fall down. And And then Tanjiro holds Nezuko, and then notices that her strength is increasing, and this is when he notices that she's trying to bite him, which he grabs his axe and puts it in her mouth. He's trying to, get through by reminding her that it's, him, and he pretty much says the exact same thing as in canon. Oh my god. And then this is the time where a man comes and slices towards Nezuko, and Tanjiro easily, moves her out the way, dodging in. And then the man sees this and asks Tanjiro why is he, protecting the demon, and Tanjiro says that it's his sister, and the man, pretty much speed blitzes Tanjiro, grabbing uh, Nezuko and standing there. And this is when Tanjiro begins to kneel down and, beg the man to not kill his sister. And the man starts yelling at him to pretty much, stop being a baby and fight for his sister. And Tanjiro gets up, getting ready to actually face Tomioka. And yeah, or you could call him either one. And he pretty much is about to use the same strategy, but then and then but then oh my god, he just feels something, and he raises his hand, and gravity just starts, it forces Nezuko out of Gyu's hands and towards Tanjiro, which Tanjiro grabs her, shocking both of them, Tanjiro and Gyu. And Gyu immediately starts, running towards him because he, already has Nezuko. And then he notices that Nezuko actually isn't attacking him. And oh my god, I'm sorry, my nose is stuffy. And anyway, Tanjiro, or after the speak English, after Gyu sees this, he's shocked, but gets ready to see what's gonna happen next, and still rushes towards Nezuko. Tanjiro pretty much gets in the way and tries to block his attack with his axe, but his axe is, not a strong enough weapon to be able to tank his sword strike, and pretty much breaks his axe. And then he pretty much passes Tanjiro and knocks out Nezuko. And oh my god! And when he knocks out Nezuko, he starts talking to Tanjiro, talking about how there's going to be a man on a certain mountain, which I cannot remember the name of, and to meet him there so he can train and become a demon slayer. And Tanjiro agrees, taking his sister and, going towards the mountain. Halfway there, he makes a basket for Nezuko to get in, which she does, and that's where they set off for the mountain. And once they get to the mountain, Tanjiro smells blood because he still has the same ability as he does in canon, the ability to smell blood. And and goes there, goes to where he smells the blood and sees a demon feasting on or eating people. And this time he pretty much runs towards the demon, unknowingly using chakra, which enhances his speed a lot. Pretty much appears right next to the demon, about to chop its head off with the axe. The demon then, tries to, dodge the attack after, noticing Tanjiro, but then his head falls off, and Tanjiro doesn't even know where this came from. He didn't. He's confused at what he just done, and then the demon's body, after falling on the ground, gets back up and actually starts to attack Tanjiro, which Tanjiro holds the demon's body back, pushing it off of him, and grabs the head of the demon and pretty much trapping it with the axe, and then leads it leads the body of the demon towards the edge of the mountain, and pretty much jukes it and makes it fall off the mountain. And yeah, and then goes back to the demon's head after the demon realizes that its body can no longer move. It starts growing, I think it was arms out of his head, which was weird. And this is when a man shows up with white hair and a mask. I'm asking Tanjiro if he was going to kill the demon, and Tanjiro says he can't. He has to wait until the sun rises, because if he chopped his head off with an axe, obviously hitting it with anything else wouldn't do much. And Urukadaki thinks this kid's smart, and then proceeds to explain that you need a special blade to kill the demons. And oh my god, my nose, hold on. Alright, sorry. Yeah, after this, they both go to or bury the bodies, pay their respects, and then go to Urukadaki's house. And this is where Tanjiro starts his training for the 2 years. In these 2 years, he actually ends up learning total concentration breathing. Goddamn. Because of his ability to quickly, process information and others. And throughout these 2 years, he's figured out how to pretty much use almost all of his Rinnegan abilities. And I'm going to name them, which is the ability to the one where he pretty much can use like robot parts or whatever, like he can turn his body into mechanical parts, stuff like that. And Macho Tenin and Shinra Tensei, both of those, and the King of Hell. That's what he's got down so far. He, figured out that the King of Hell heals you if you go inside of its mouth, and since he cannot perform any hand signs, and he doesn't know how to use chakra completely, or doesn't know how to use chakra at all, actually, just knows that there's an energy source that is inside of his body that he can manipulate. And if he uses it, he can enhance his strength and put it on top of total concentration breathing. And yeah, there you go. It ups its strength even more. And yeah, Tanjiro ends up mastering all, I think it was 12 water breathing forms. Hold on, give me a second, I want to check. Sorry, he masters all 10 forms since he, can't really use Dead Calm, because I think Tomioka's the only one that's able to use it, and he hasn't seen him in over 2 years, so it just wouldn't make any sense for him to be able to use Dead Calm. And yeah, he pretty much masters the 10 water breathing forms that he's able to get to anyway, and he pretty much did as much as possible through the 10 years to master pretty much all of his abilities, so he could defeat any demon that comes along, and especially kill the demon that killed his family. And Tanjiro still gets tasked with destroying the boulder, which he actually does pretty easily, and proceeds to go to the final selection. And I'm just gonna say it's at the same time as the original because why not? And once he gets there, he gets ready, and once everybody enters, because pretty much all the interactions are the same. Tanjiro's just the same character but just more OP. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, Tanjiro enters, killing the same demons that he does in canon with ease, and then the hand demon comes and says the same stuff he does in canon, and this time Tanjiro is pretty much easily able to dodge and deflect all of his attacks pretty easily, and kills the demon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really happens. Like, nothing really happens that is extremely eventful in the original or anything. So it's pretty much just the same. And yeah. So once he leaves, he picks his order, goes back. Pretty much all the interactions are the exact same as I said, because it's just Tanjiro, but more OP. So yeah, and he goes on his first mission. And hold on a second. All right, I'm sorry. He goes on his first mission, and pretty much the interactions go the same as in Ken. As I said, nothing really changes about how Tanjiro really acts, besides the fact that he's even more OP than the original, and then in the original. And once Tanjiro gets to the demons, he actually kills them with ease this time because they're not particularly strong. And yeah, this is pretty much OP Tanjiro, so don't be extremely shocked that he's just one-shotting demons like this. Alright, and yeah, after that he pretty much goes to where the demon told him to go, because the demon still tells him, like in the original, how the swamp demon tells him where to find Muzan. And Tanjiro goes, and they pretty much have the same interaction like in canon, nothing really changing, like I said. But in this timeline, he, yeah, never mind. He still doesn't kill the, yeah. Anyway, hold on, give me a second again. Tamayo and what's his name? The guy with the white hair. I keep reading this man's name, but yeah, him. They both, come and save him like the original, and they go back to their base house. I don't know. And yeah, they have their same conversation as in canon, but they do mention how the fact that Tanjiro has weird eyes. Oh, and if you're wondering, can um Nezuko be turned back into human if Tanjiro uses the King of Hell? No, it does not work like that. Sorry. Anyway, um, Tanjiro then notices the fact that there's actually something flying at them, and tells everybody to get down, and then a ball comes through the wall, breaking it, and bouncing all over the place until Tanjiro is able to cut it. And then these two demons, you know sorry, get ready, or these two demons, after breaking Tamayo's house, Tanjiro gets ready to fight and walks out to see two demons like in canon, and sorry, not two demons, sorry, to see the girl demon. I can't remember her name, bro. Anyway, I can never remember any of these characters' names. Anyway, Tanjiro then proceeds to try to rush towards her to cut her head off, but then notices an invisible force about to push him, so he bounces off the ground. And since he has enhanced vision, he's able to see it barely. At this point, when he notices them, he pushes more chakra into his eyes, and then at that point he's able to completely see the arrows and knows where the arrow demon is, and pretty much starts still runs at it starts rushing past her, actually, the girl demon, which I cannot remember. And once he gets to him, the arrowhead demon says that he is never going to be able to touch him, and Tanjiro is easily able to dodge all of his attacks using his first form. Water Surface Slash, cutting the demon's head off. And then getting ready to fight the next demon, and this is when he notices that Nezuko and her both kicking the ball back and forth until Nezuko overpowers her, and pretty much the same interaction happens close to canon, but Tanjiro's perfectly fine and actually helps Nezuko. So yeah, and sorry, hold on. Sorry. Anyway, after this, he gets ready to go to his next mission, and while walking to his next mission, he sees a boy begging a girl, another demon slayer actually begging a girl to marry him, and he's pretty much, I think he was getting beat, yeah. And Tanjiro, seeing this, walks over, and and it, pretty much picks up the man and asks why he's bothering her, and he yells that he's going to die because he's a demon slayer and that he wants to get married before he dies. And this is where you see the Tanjiro disgust face meme, and and then they continue on after Tanjiro gets the man to come with him, and then he says his name is Zenitsu, and they continue walking to Tanjiro's mission. And once they get there, Tanjiro puts down the box and then walks in and still makes the same children like in canon that pretty much explain exactly what happens. And I think he did. Yeah. Anyway, Zetsu still goes and does the same thing as in canon, and Tanjiro fights the drum demon, which proves to be kind of difficult for him. And once he gets the hang of the drum demon's blood art, he kills the drum demon, which he actually gets a lot quicker than canon for the Rinnegan's ability to process information quicker, and and yeah, once he comes outside, he sees Zenitsu getting beat on by a man with a boar mask on, and he runs over and pretty much having the same interaction as in canon. And this is when they start fighting. And in this version, Tanjiro is actually able to beat him way easier since his perception is way higher than in canon, or he perceives them as slow. And yeah, they go to I think it was a hotel, and yeah, all that happens is pretty much the exact same. And after that happens, they go on the next mission, on their next mission, and they go up or start walking to a mountain, and it's night. It's about nighttime, and and Tanjiro ends up walking up the mountain with Inosuke, being prepared, and Zenitsu does the same stuff he does in Ken, pretty much, not wanting death until he realizes that Tanjiro still had, Nezuko on his back, and starts walking up. And when Tanjiro gets up the mountain, he sees all of the people webbed up, and pretty much everything goes close to similar until the re-encounter. And once Rui and Tanjiro start fighting, this is where it gets more interesting to see Tanjiro fighting somebody. Tanjiro, knowing that this guy, he needs to get blood from so he can figure out a way to heal it. His sister, since he's one of the Kizuki, so it would mean that he would be able to help his sister out and help her to become a human again. And Tanjiro and Rui start fighting, and Rui has to use his blood demon art a lot earlier, or like yeah, his blood demon art a lot earlier than Ganon, and Tanjiro struggles with cutting through it to the point where he actually does have the same flashes of the Hinokami Kagura, and is able to start using it and cutting through the ropes with ease, and or cutting through the webs with ease. And at this point, yeah, Nezuko is still caught in a trap, even because Tanjiro was still struggling with Rui's blood demon art, and she still does the same thing as in canon. And once Tanjiro cuts off the head, he's got a decent amount of cuts on him, but he's not on the ground completely, and he can still fight. And at this point, Rui walks back or puts his head back on and asks Tanjiro, do you really think he could beat him? And Tanjiro starts fighting Rui again, and this time actually lands the final hit with the Hinokami Kagura before his body starts to give out, and he actually kills Rui in this one. And this is when Giyu and Shinobu appear, and they have the same battle as they did. Yes, same thing as they did in canon, and yeah, Tanjiro is brought back to Kaguya's mansion, and he is investigated, or not investigated, but treated, which he doesn't really need to be treated after seeing Zenitsu and alright. And investigating their condition. She tells them to wait a bit, and then he'll heal them, which confuses the people that were in the medical bay, which they just ignore, saying that he can't do anything like that. And Tanjiro still brought in front of the Hashira, and they or Sanemi, he stabs Nezuko's through the box, and once he does that, Tanjiro instantly breaks out of the restraints and flies towards Sanemi at insane speeds, not even which the Hashira can barely see, and sends his headbutt and headbutts Sanemi right in the head, making him stagger backwards, and then not even enough time to process what just happened, gets another attack sent towards him, shocking everybody at his pure speed. And this attack pushes Sanemi back, and then Tanjiro raises out his hand, saying Bacho Tenid, pulling him in and pretty much grabbing his neck and slamming him like Pain does to a lot of people, actually. And after he does this, he gets ready to hit him again, but then gets pulled back by either Rengoku or Guillaume. It really doesn't matter. And everybody is still shocked at the fact that he was able to speed blitz a Hashira as strong as Sanemi, and to land blows like that. Sanemi is extremely pissed at the fact that Tanjiro just did that to him, and 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 everybody's still shocked at the fact that the boy just pretty much pulled him towards him, pulled Sanmi towards him, like manipulating gravity. And they ask him about this, and Tanjiro explains his eyes, sorry, and that they have the few abilities that he's figured out, and he could easily break through these restraints, but he decided to stay inside them. And then after Sanmi, gets up, decides to do the same test that he does in the original, and the physical passes. And yeah, after Tanjiro gets back to the medical bay, he heals Zenitsu and Inosuke and anybody else that might need healing. And he has the same interactions with everybody he has in canon. And I'm going to cover Mugen Train, because this is kind of a special... It's a movie, technically, because it's covering the entire Demon Slayer story. So, yeah. Anyway, or Demon Slayer anime, anyway. Sorry. Alright, anyway, I'm sorry for that long silence for no reason. Anyway, yeah. After Tanjiro, gets on the train, everything pretty much happens like in canon until the, tickets, where you could just tell that there was something wrong, pushing chakra into his eyes and seeing the blood demon on the ticket. And once he grabs it, he pushes chakra into the ticket, dispelling it, and then tells Rengoku what he was seeing, and Rengoku, he frees Rengoku and everybody else. And this time, like the original, they don't sleep, which annoys. I think his name is how do you say this man's name? Hold on, give me a second. Okay, right. His name is Enmu. Okay, right. Anyway, yeah, he gets irritated at the fact that they're still awake, and gets ready to fight them. And at this point, since Tanjiro and Rengoku haven't really seen anything, they get up and get ready to start moving. Once they open the train car, all Tanjiro can smell is the demon, and this so shocks Tanjiro himself, saying, how did he not notice this? And jumps onto the roof and starts running to the front of the train, saying the demon might be in the front of the train. And Rengoku says okay, and says if any other demons come, that they'll protect the passengers. And once Tanjiro sees Enmu, he gets ready to fight them, or fight him, and they go into a battle where Enmu, once he tries to put Tanjiro to sleep, since I'm going to have this kind of be like a genjutsu, it just doesn't work, since the Rinnegan is not you cannot literally put a person with Rinnegan in a genjutsu. Just I don't know, it just doesn't work. And yeah, Tanjiro, after noticing this, that the demon blood art doesn't work on him, proceeds to cut Enmu's head off, and Enmu states that he's really good, and for some reason his demon blood art won't affect him. But but he's too late, as he's already merged with the entire train, and this shocks Tanjiro, and then he goes towards the front of the train, seeing he thinks that is probably where the neck is, and actually breaks a part of the train after one of the train conductors tried to attack him. He knocks him out and throws him aside, or not throws him, but puts him aside, and cuts where his neck is at, and is about to cut it again, but a whole bunch of flesh bursts out, and it pretty much starts attacking Tanjiro, and still tries to put him in the demon blood art, but it doesn't work, and Tanjiro just starts cutting it up, and then Inosuke appears, helping Tanjiro, and since it cannot find out where Inosuke is actually looking, Inosuke cuts the first part, and then Tanjiro, slashes the neck of the demon using the Hinokami Kagura, or sun breathing, and helps. And that's how they kill Emu, and the train crashes like the original, or jumps like the original, and Tanjiro gets Tanjiro and Inosuke and Rengoku all get out of the train the same way, and Tanjiro flies. Well, Inosuke and Tanjiro fly up the train, and Rengoku finds them. In this time, Tanjiro has barely any injuries. He has injuries, but barely any of them, and this is when Akaza appears and tries to attack Tanjiro, but Rengoku blocks the attack and saves him, like he does in the original, and their fight goes the exact same way, and Tanjiro is literally not able to do anything. He can barely see their speed, and his Rinnegan is slowly being able to keep up. And just by watching this fight, Tanjiro is kind of getting stronger, and seeing the moves of flame breathing, and Tanjiro continues to watch the battle, and once they see what happens, they both rush towards Rengoku after he gets impaled and is holding Akaza down. They both rush towards Rengoku, getting ready to chop Akaza's head off, until the sun starts to rise, and Akaza tries to pull away as much as possible, until the point where he rips his arms off and runs away with Rengoku's sword in his neck, which he pretty much takes out and throws it aside. And in this timeline, since Tanjiro has the King of Hell, he immediately runs towards Rengoku and summons the King of Hell, telling him to get inside of the King of Hell. Telling him to get inside of the King of Hell, it will heal him. And Rengoku, trusting Tanjiro, since he's fought demons and has shed blood for people, so he has his trust in him. And once Rengoku comes out, he's completely fine, shocking Rengoku himself. And he was pretty shocked at the fact that the King of Hell appeared in the first place, but he's shocked at the fact that now he's healed after being spit out of it. And Tanjiro pretty much appears or explains what the King of Hell completely is. And yes, he did explain some of his abilities to the Hashira, but he didn't explain that because he really doesn't need to. The the Hashira, when they seen him healing the people at the butterfly estate, they thought it only could heal minor injuries, not somebody getting impaled through their chest. And or like mid injuries, not what Rengoku had. And they go back to the mansion where Rengoku asks Kaguya to call a meeting and explains what happened during the mission, and explaining that he met Upper Moon 3 and he lost the battle against him, but was healed by Tanjiro, which shocks them because the way Rengoku described it, that he was impaled, there was no way I was going to be able to be healed by that, by anything anyway at the time. And I'm sorry, he says that Tanjiro summoned this thing that he calls the King of Hell, and had him get into it, and once it spit him out, he was completely fine, which shocked the Hashira, saying that this ability is amazing, and that those eyes of his really ran insane abilities. And this is where I'm going to leave off part 1, or the movie of what if Tanjiro had the Rinnegan. And this is part 1 of the movie, because once the anime finishes, I'm probably going to finish this series, since the newest arc is still going, so I can't really do that. And yeah, peace out everybody, and goodbye.